Hey man, good evening everybody. It's another episode of Because I Feel Like It Pod. I'm here with my guy Artie, man. It's a lot of shit going on in the league. A lot of unwarranted, unwanted shit going on in the league. You know what I'm saying? A couple of situations that we're gonna touch on. But Artie, man, what's been going on, brother?
Man, we all good. Bounce back against the New York Giants.
hey,
Feel like the greatest team in the world.
hey, all dubs are warranted. Doesn't matter how you get them. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
man.
Can say the same about the say the same about the Eagles. You know what I mean? Like they got the dub. It was one of the games that it used to be back in the day. People tend to forget, or they maybe wasn't around back then. We used to see games 16-10. You know what I mean? 17-13. That's when it was really a defensive game back in the day. But either way, it was a good game. Obviously it was a lot of drama at the end. You know what I'm saying? In reference to they said there was a bum call at the end in regards to AJ going up against Rocky Yassin. You know what I'm saying? And then my thing to it is with anything, if you're a hooper or if you're an athlete or any player played any sport, I'll keep asking people the same question. Why, if you feel as though the ref changed the game, why is the game in the ref's hands to begin with, right? If Detroit was so superior, they should have watched the Eagles already. It wouldn't have been an issue, right? But again, you didn't take care of your business. You got held to 9 points, and it is what it is. You know what I mean? You got it. You don't want the ref to take. You don't want the ref to be a part of the game. Do your job,
0 of 5 on fourth down,
right?
right?
You know what I'm saying? Like blame it. You got a lot. There's a lot to blame. Like there's a lot to blame to go around. But
And honestly, that game was very affected by the wind too, like
yeah,
Mother
you,
Nature. I mean, Jared Goff was way less than 50%. I think Jalen Hurts was 50%. That's
right,
uncharacteristic for both guys. So it wasn't a normal game, anyways. And then you
right.
conflate that with the 0-5 fourth down from the coach. And some of it was just they lined up for a fake punt.
Against the Eagles first, against the Eagles defense, it wasn't even the special teams that was out there. It was
Right.
the starting defense, and a lot of people didn't realize that the defense didn't leave the field on that fourth down. They stayed there. So what does that tell you? They
And
they took
it's always the same exact. And I'm discounting the ref stuff. It's always the same exact story with Detroit. It's always at the end of the game. Were they successful on fourth down or not? Sometimes they don't have to get to the fourth down situation. So that's also credit as we talk
right,
about the tush push. Who got them to third and one? Who got them to fourth and one? Who got the Lions to 4th and 4 and 4th and 3 and gave them the consideration to go for it and then stop them? That deserves credit as much as if you stop a tush push or any fourth down play. So, or if you convert it too, that deserves credit as well. But it's always every time the Lions seem to lose one of these close games with an NFC contender,
it's always
it, it,
somebody's fault.
you go back to those fourth down plays, and if those are taken out, the game changes a lot.
Right. Right.
The game
Or
changes a lot.
hey, here's the thought. Just take the points. When you were in scoring position, just take the points. You
Yeah,
didn't have to
because
go for it. If
yeah,
if think about it, they had two opportunities where they could have got three, right?
here's
And it
another one.
right. Yeah. What's
The,
up?
the the extra point that got pushed back because of the
Right.
celebration from Jameson Williams.
Right. Exactly. And they missed it. So you gotta understand, like you had opportunities to win, or it could have came down to the last possession where you wouldn't have had to worry about it. But you chose your coach put y'all in. And I get it. You want to have confidence in your team,
Mm-hmm.
but it is what it is. That's what happened. It is not. But you can't sit there and say that call. We were robbed of a storybook ending. No, the coach robbed you of a storybook ending. The fact that you didn't play it well enough to get to that where it could have had a storybook ending. That was on the staff and the team. That wasn't had nothing to do with the refs because you never leave again. You don't leave the refs. You don't leave the game in the refs' hands at all.
And
So
for a storybook ending to happen, you score one touchdown in the second quarter,
Right.
You're going to have under a minute to play, right?
Right.
And your quarterback is 14 of 37.
Yeah, that means you had at a minimum, if he completes 5 more passes in that game, is it a win? There's
Yeah.
too many variables to say. Well, it was just the it was the refs. Nah, man. Like you had ample time to attempt to win that game. Don't put that on the refs. They did their job the entire game, and they let them play at the end. So it
Yeah.
is what it is.
I mean, sometimes it's warranted, sometimes it's throughout a game, and sometimes the refs may be a little iffy on one side or the
Yeah.
other. But when your quarterback's 14 to 37, you scored 9 points in the game. You were not taking points. You're 0-5 on fourth down.
Yeah.
What would make even the most non-biased person think if the Lions get the ball back, they're going to go and score a touchdown? Now it's possible, but in this game, it didn't look so possible. They didn't trust their kicker either. So, and their kicker is one of the best kickers in the NFL. But
So basically, what you're saying
that's
is
on them.
it was a player initiated mistakes that caused them the game.
Yeah.
They did that to themselves and the coach.
They again, the Eagles defense and credit the Lions defense too. They did some good work. Like I said, the wind played a role too. But the Eagles defense just held that team under 10 points.
They choked them out.
And they won the game. Like you could say the same thing the week before against Green Bay. Green Bay didn't score. What did Jordan Love do? So maybe to blame it on a call here or blame it on a call there. Oh, they didn't call the false start on a tush push. The drive before that, Jordan Love QB sneaks. It was a false start. They didn't call it.
They didn't call anything. It's things that go either way. But it's unfortunate. Yeah, I mean it's fortunate for the Eagles, but it's just
Right.
You know how things are crafted within the media. They take and make it seem like it's bigger than what it really is when it's really not. You know what I'm saying? What you do want is you want the players to impact the outcome of the game. They did. You went, like you said, 14 for 37, bro. Like you had ample opportunities to impact the game and you chose not to. It is what it is. You lost, move on. It's still not. Doesn't mean that it doesn't mean like Detroit is a bad team. It's just they weren't the best team that day, and it is what it is.
And do we? I mean, I think this is kind of tiring too, and there's a lot of other things that just are of more importance, in my opinion. But do we even give any breath to the AJ situation?
At this point, man, like it's been beaten up so fucking much. Like within the fan base, within the city, within the media, just the stupidity. I think if we can go another 20, 25 minutes just talking about the media, the national and the local media in itself, man. Like they are the reasons why, and I'm gonna say it, dude. They are the reasons why content creators are needed. Not the ones who necessarily do for the hot takes. Not necessarily. I mean, because there are a lot of very knowledgeable content creators out there. I know a few in my fan base alone, and some others also, even though they do a lot of trolling, but they're still good. And I will name them. Lord Brunson, he's one in our fan base. Philly 500, he's another one. A lot of people they fuck with her, but she is cool to me and shit. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Key, Real Mama Eagle, she's another one of the most knowledgeable fans out there, even though people seem to have a fucking problem with it, but that's neither here or there, man. Like still that's stupid shit just because she's a woman, but that's neither here or there. There's a couple other folks, even in the Eagles, the Cowboys fan base, man. Like I forgot my man's name. Cowboys fan talk. Yeah, he does a lot of trolling sometimes, but you can tell he loves the team. You know what I mean? There's a couple guys over there. Law Sports Nation. I've been watching him. He's a good guy, man. You know, he's always gonna be a back and forth. You know, but it's really for content creation purposes. But back to the Philly thing. it's just a lot of just stupid shit, man. Like the media itself, like I said, content creators are needed for this reason because these folks have just fucking they've lost their way with journalistic integrity. You know what I'm saying? Like I understand, yes, a lot of social media and a lot of the content things are attempting to make the old school journalists go this way, but you don't need to. You get what I'm saying? Like the whole thing with AJ, like it's just been so worn out. Like if you understand where he's coming from, you get it. He wants to win. He's already got his ring, right? And he sees something that's wrong with the offense, and he just wants it to be better. You know what I mean? And my thing is, and I talked, Walk, I talked to him about this as well. It's like, and I understand it from both sides. So I'm not sitting there like one side is any better than the other. But from AJ's standpoint, how many ways can you communicate that there is something wrong with the offense? Right. And I don't necessarily think it's about Jalen. I don't think it is. I think he's tired of the OC. Right. But there's other levels to this as well. Yes, the OC does not, he is without a doubt, he is out of his range. You know what I'm saying? AJ gave him an opportunity earlier before the season. He gave him a vote of confidence, which you should. You know, if you want to give somebody an opportunity to show you their worth and what they can do with live bullets, right? Not with practice bullets, with live bullets, right? And that's what AJ did. So now you get in the month of September, there's 4 games, right? So you get a full 4-game window to see, because the season is only 17 games, so it's not like you have 82, right? Or 162. You have 17. So he gave him 4, which is a quarter of the year, to show his worth, and it's been uneven. To be cordial, it's been uneven. And so from AJ's standpoint, he's like, this shit ain't gonna go right. So he's saying this as September. The offense needs to get right. We go another 2 to 3 weeks now. He's saying it in a different way, but it's the same message. The offense needs to get right. We get to Green Bay. Green Bay has a great defense. However, you've been dealing with this same issue for 8 weeks. How much more proof do you need? And from his standpoint, he's like, yo, how many ways do I? And we don't know. None of us know that. Has he voiced this internally? I would like to assume, because I don't believe he's a stupid human being, that he probably has talked to the quarterback, the quarterback coach, the OC, the head coach, the GM. Go ahead.
I just want to say this too, just to bring in before you get too far from that point, is if you watch the Eagles on a weekly basis, I watch them as much as I can. There's so much football going on. Yeah. Obviously, that's not my first team to watch, but I watch them a lot. Mm-hmm. If you watch the Eagles, the turn from what you said, September to, I don't even want to say all the way throughout September, because that second half of the Rams game, they had to throw the ball a lot.
Right.
They were coming back. But there wasn't even the change wasn't something that was like a creativity thing, something that was a different thing. The change was just, let's pass the ball. Not let's do different passing plays. Not let's try to work our receivers open in a different way. It was just, we're going to abandon the run. That's our team's identity. We're just going to abandon the run. We'll see where that gets us. And I don't even think, and you could correct me if you think differently, I don't think that's AJ's point. Is like, hey, let's only pass the ball, or only give me the ball. I think he still wants his in the flow of the offense.
Yes.
And that's where I think is the misconception of no, he just wants his numbers. He wants his numbers and he wants to win. Like I think everybody that plays football does.
Like a Jerry Rice did, like a Randy Moss did,
right?
Like it's
and that's
like
why that's why I said I don't want to get too lost from the point and too far away from the point of the change wasn't even, hey, what if we start AJ outside and move him into the slot?
Or the creativity and the route concepts and where you line them up. But the thing is though, like, yes, you can blame the OC and that's valid, right? You can blame the receiver, that's valid. But what is also valid is this offensive line has been ass, whether healthy or not healthy, for 10 weeks. Even yes, they are 8-2. We're not going to wash that away. But the line has not played well all year. And you know what that means? That means the other team does not have to respect the run.
Yeah.
Right? And when the other team doesn't have to respect the run, guess what they can do? They can just sit in man like most teams are doing because they know that you can only do one thing. They don't respect the run. Yeah, and a lot of reasons why they don't respect the run isn't the running back. It's because they know you can't block. I cannot count how many times I forget the first 4 games of the year, first 5. I can't count over the last 5 games of this year that at least 6 runs a half that Saquon's had, he's been tackled in the backfield. And it is not him. He isn't washed. That line looks washed. You know what I'm saying? Either through attrition due to health or just straight up when they're healthy, they're not playing well. And I don't know what, and it goes back to the other thing. What do you actually have if you can't? They pass block fine, but they don't run block fine. But it doesn't matter if you pass block fine if you can't run because that's all the other team knows you're going to run. All the team knows you're going to pass.
Right.
Just lining up, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the whole AJ thing, it is what it is at this point, man. Like I think at the end of the day, the only way this ever gets fixed is 2 things. The line gets fully healthy, 2, they get an OC, but that's probably not going to happen this year. No. So you can't. It is what it is. You got to go with what it is. You know what I mean? We've had proof that they can turn things around because this happened last year, right? Even though they had the 2023 season, it happened in 24. They turned it around and won the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? They look like crap on offense pretty much a good 3/4 of the year. They got to the playoffs and they won the Super Bowl. I mean, the proof is the Super Bowl. You know, they won.
And scored a lot of points.
Yeah, and then because I don't really want to make this a whole Eagles story. So I want to touch on one thing before we get to the rest of everything else. It's another situation with this, you know, and it goes back to my issue, the point about the media. They're starting this whole the quarterback is the fault is the issue thing, and it's a racial thing. It's mostly it's 60% racial, 40% old guard media in the city, right? And Dan Sileo, I don't know if you've heard anything about him. He's a fucking racist, man. Like it's not even worth. Because I don't really want to. It's like he's a fucking dickhead. And he's a racist, and he was kicked off of plenty of radio stations for being racist. You know what I'm saying? He has this thing with black quarterbacks, but that feeds into the other negative side of the Eagles fan base. You know what I'm saying? Because those are the folks that tell you, I want Tanner McKee over Jalen Hurts. I want Carson Wentz over Jalen Hurts. Like, but like I said, I made a post. I don't know if you saw it on the on our pod Twitter. People, and it's weird. People are okay. They're okay with winning the Super Bowl, right? They're okay with going to the parade. But you see how they're uneven because they're not okay with having a black quarterback. So you can celebrate a black man or black men performing for you, but he can't be the star. You feel what I'm saying? And it's a nasty part of our fan base that is that way. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's like that in every fan base, but in particular ours. And it's a nasty thing because we know he can't read. What do you mean he can't read? What are you really trying to say? There's a lot of cold talk that's out there about him. You know what I'm saying? And then is just not cool is that even some of the players, the old OG players that played with the Eagles back then, not necessarily Seth Joyner because he has been a defender of Jalen Hurts, but Derek Gunn, you know what I'm saying? Like he was one of the old heads back in the day that played back in the late 80s and 90s, in the early 90s for the Eagles. Even Hugh Douglas and them folks, man, it's just like my issue with them is not that they they are criticizing him, because no quarterback is above criticism or constructive criticism. My thing is that they are all media accredited members that have access to the Eagles, right? And to me, unless I'm wrong, that means you have access to the team, which means you can ask to get an interview with Jalen Hurts, which means you can have a sit down. You might not have to divulge all of the information you get, but you have the access. So if you feel as though he's the problem, or you think, or you have a source that says he's the problem, what better source do you have than going to the source himself, Jalen Hurts? Yeah. Unless you try to.
And this is the reason why you're saying this.
Right. Thank you. And that's my problem with the old guard media in Philadelphia, is that they don't go to the source, or they can't get to him because he sees that they're full of shit. So when people can't get to you, and we've seen situations like that. When people can't get to you, they start making up shit about you. Right? And when that happens, and guess what? Because you have a lot of sheep out here that don't take the time to read or actually pay attention or have common sense, they will take and run with that bad information, which goes back to my original point that there is an extreme need for good content creators out here that fought, not just for the Eagles, for other fan bases, to tell the real stories of these teams and these players. Because these guys now they've shown us now that we can't. Don't get me wrong, there's still a good amount out there that are good guys, but there's also a good amount of that are not giving you what you need from your team or the info you need. And that's why there's a need for content creators out there to band together or work together. I don't care how you do it, but get out there and tell the stories of your teams, man. It doesn't matter if you have 5 followers. It doesn't matter if you have 10,000 followers. Fucking just tell the story of the team. Get together and work together, man. That's all we need to do. So, yeah.
I echo that. I'm not obviously so in tune with the Philly and local media and everything. I do know of the Cilio guy. But like I said, I agree with you that you're right, that a lot of more of the content creators and the independent media just, need to break through more, and they're already working hard, but just continue the work that they're doing.
Keep doing the work, just continue doing. It doesn't matter. It'll all pop off, man. The more you keep grinding, just keep putting the content out there. It'll get better. You know what I mean? But so that's that situation. And then
another wide receiver in Cincinnati.
Yeah, man. I'm disappointed. I was disappointed when Jalen did it, even though Jalen Carter did it, even though I understood there was a backstory to it and there was a a taunt to lead to that, it's still nasty, man. Like there's, I'm not. I will preface this by saying you can't tell another grown man or woman how to react to something, but I will tell you that there are ways to handle it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like how Jamar handled that was just nasty. Like if if and we all know that Ramsey is a dickhead, man. You know what I mean? He's a good dickhead, but he's a dickhead, but it's within the game. Um, but even still, if you felt that strongly about disrespecting him and you felt as though he said some things that were out of bounds to you, yeah, don't punch him when his helmet is on. You know what I mean? But um you could have handled that after the game, right? If you had to square up with him, if it was warranted for you to square up with him after the game. But to spit on him and then lie about it, yeah, buddy, no, that's
Yeah, I think that was the funny thing after the game.
yeah,
I didn't do that. Like,
yeah, you
that's the
lied,
all
bro.
went down.
Like,
And
I,
to know,
go
I
ahead.
mean, he's been in the NFL for a long time. Obviously, he played college football. You know, it's a lot of cameras.
Right. And to lie, bro. Like I mean, he ain't looking for no credibility from me. A,
Right.
a guy sitting in his sitting in his cave just talking shit.
Hmm.
But you look janky and light. You know what I'm saying? You know what it is. That's just nasty, man. As a grown man, right there. If you felt as though you needed to do so or needed to handle your business, you could have punched him after the game.
Yeah,
You
and
know
I
what I
think
mean?
we said the same thing about the Jalen Carter and Dak situation.
You could
You
have
know,
caught him after the game. You could have beat his ass if you were squared up with him after the game. But the spit
yeah,
and then you got caught, and then you got caught, and then you try to appeal it. That means you don't have any situational awareness of, you know what I mean, like mentally. To me, like
and at the time you appeal it, you already see online that the video is out that happened.
yeah,
Like, even if
yeah,
that wasn't online, you know, internally they have the video,
yeah.
but
So now, right? You already 3-7, right? So now you've left your rest of your teammates out there to fight for you at 3-7, going to play. Who do they play? They play the Pats,
yeah.
which is who are 9-2. Now what?
And who have one of the best corners in the league, and
Right?
Gonzalez, where
Yeah. Like
now it's going to be a little easier to defend just T Higgins by himself,
right.
and
Exactly.
Joe Burrow's supposed to be coming back maybe next week. They were talking about it against the Ravens, and
It's over, bro.
yeah,
That if anything, if that wasn't the icing on the cake, it was the cake and the fork, the plate, the icing, the ice cream, the napkin. It's over. I mean,
yep.
it's over, cuz like just chalk that up, man. Y'all did everything you could. Go ahead and fire the coach. You know what I mean? I don't advocate for firing people, but it's time. It's time. Zach Taylor,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, he took him to the Super Bowl once, but bro, if you and that's another thing. Like as a leader on a team, dude, like you don't have that tells me you don't have control of your locker room. There, who was the counsel around him? Like even in that Jalen Carter issue, I think that might have been why they brought back BG to have an adult in the room. Who was the adult on the field next to Jalen or next to Jamar to get him up out of there?
No one.
You know what I mean? But it just shows you that
And he may be, honestly, a lot of people may look at it now with Burrow injured. He may be like the leader of the team,
right, yeah,
or of the offense,
yeah,
and
man. It's
for
just
sure the best player on that offense.
it's nasty, bro.
So
Whatever if they had a thought that they had a chance to get back into anything, it died. It died when that spit transferred from his mouth to Jalen Ramsey's jersey. You know what I mean? Yeah. So unfortunate, bro. Start making, I hope Jamar and T start making their and Joe too. Start making their Cancun ticket request and resort, you know, ventures and all that shit. But it's over for them, bro. It is super over. Um, what other shit was going on?
The Chiefs 5-5.
It's over for them too. And it's not a skill thing. What I mean? I'll never disrespect Pat, even Kelsey or Stone Cold Jones or any of those guys. But understand that group, that three prong group there, they've played a lot. It's almost like in basketball when the Warriors in the Cavs, they played so much football. Just that group since 2018, dude. Think about it. And this is before we had the 17 game seasons. They've been to they've been to the NFC Championship or AFC Championship game, what, 7 out of the last 8 years, which means you've played fucking 20 games a year at a minimum for 8 years. That's 160 games of football, bro.
And way more than everybody else.
Right. That's literally a fucking whole season of football. If you take those 20 games, that's a whole season of a season and a quarter, or a season and a quarter of football they've played alone. You know what I mean? And then because you're playing so late into the season, guess what? Your body has less time to recover. And as you get older, that means you have a harder time to recover. And it's just it's just beating them up. And also the fact that they don't have a running game. I mean, Pacheco's a cool kid. You know what I'm saying? And Kareem Hunt isn't what he was in 2017. But they have nothing to rely on. No one respects their run game. None. And then whatever Rashid Rice was, or Hollywood Brown was, you know what I'm saying, or Xavier Worthy is, they know that's all you can do because you can't run.
Yep.
And no one's scared of the defense anymore after the Super Bowl. No one is. So people are just like taking their turns, kicking their back in.
Yeah, it's I would say it's probably the most, not that, like you said, they played so much football, you expect a little bit of a downfall, but I just think the downfall, it wasn't even like a progression. Obviously they were just in the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah.
And for teams like the Jaguar, or even Houston, who had a terrible start, they got the same record, I think.
Yeah, now. Yeah, they do now.
And it's just kind of phenomenal for where we were at a month and a half ago, how we were speaking about Houston.
Yeah.
And now not that Kansas City is doing great, but now they're tied with the defending AFC championships. Obviously they're both on the bubble there, but it's been an up and down season for them too, because there was a time there, obviously they beat the Raiders. That's not much, it's not very hard to do, but there was a time there where it seemed like they were getting back on track.
Yeah.
And I said it too when Chris Jones was talking about the 100 passing yards. You don't even have 100 yards. I said it's over. You're worried about the wrong thing. You're losing the game. You're about to lose the game.
Yeah, and this is
and that person isn't even talking to you.
Yeah, and it's just like, and the other thing is, bro, like it gets to a point where, everyone has seen the wizard behind the curtain now. And what I mean by that is there's no creativity to the Chiefs offense anymore. You don't have to really worry about Kelsey anymore, right? You can't run. So you can play a zone against their receivers. They're fast, no doubt.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. They're just, I'm not saying they won't that Red won't retool, but this ain't gonna be their year. And because you remember like a year or 2 weeks ago, people were like, look okay, the Chiefs are back, or the Chiefs are back, and
they're gone again.
Back. Not back.
They're going right again, and it's kind of been like that too. It's been like 2 losses, 2 wins.
Yep.
2 losses, 2 wins.
Yeah.
And, 2. It's just
and you're looking up at Denver
9-2.
Yeah, and the Chargers. Look, man, it's hard. It's gonna be hard for them to even make the playoffs over there.
Yeah, that's that. Like I said, that's probably the most unbelievable story for me this year. I still think that they get in. I think they'll get in over the Jaguars, but it's not going to be easy for sure, and they're not making it any easier for themselves.
Speaking of the Chargers, right? What do you make of Justin Herbert? 81 yards total last week.
That's the same thing like the Chiefs, like I just said. Very good game, very bad game. Very good game, very bad game. And I wouldn't say that I'm out on Justin Herbert. If I'm being completely honest, coming out of college, I wasn't big on him.
Yeah.
And I was actually my group chat, they called me the Justin Herbert hater. and last year, not to get any points with them, but last year I thought he was playing magnificently. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay, you know what? I think this guy's turning the corner. And we came on here the first 3 weeks. This guy is playing probably the best quarterback level, tier in the league right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like a 2 or 3 week period. They played the Giants. They played another team that wasn't very good, and it started declining. Then right back up, then declining. Then I saw the Pittsburgh game, and it was like the first half, he didn't know what to do. And then the second half, like right at the end of the first half, he hit McConkey for a big play for a touchdown. And then the second half, he was pretty good. And I'm just like, I don't know what to make of it anymore. Is he comfortable or is he uncomfortable? It looked like everything was great with Keenan back. It looked like they made everything work for him. And I would say the one thing that I do dislike about their offense, and I don't think this is his fault. I think this is just the negative of bringing Keenan back. Keenan isn't as young as he was before.
Yeah.
On the outside, he doesn't get any separation, so they're cheating and putting him in the slot, which in turn that takes Ladd McConkey, who is a slot receiver and a slot specialist, out of the slot.
And if we got Nelson's in the comments. He says Justin Herbert gets a lot of credit for doing nothing,
and that's it too. I mean, I don't ever like to put it that way because I don't think that I don't measure it by just Super Bowls, but right. In terms of the categories and where everybody says, okay, this is how we're ranking quarterbacks.
Right.
For as long as I've talked or known football, he gets ranked very high for a person that doesn't have any of the list of things that they need to have to be ranked high.
Right. And then the other thing is, but I'm gonna kick him in his back, right? Because you could say the same. I mean, I like Josh Allen, but you could say the same thing about him.
Yeah, I mean, he won the MVP last year. I mean, debatable if it was deserved, but
yep. Nothing to show for it. You can't throw stones from a glass house.
I see why you brought that up. I just caught on.
Yeah, you can't throw. Yeah, you can't throw stones from a glass house, Jack. Neither have done nothing. They've accomplished some individual things.
Yep.
But nothing. So hey, but
and it's ugly some weeks out in Buffalo too.
Right? Yeah, man. Like hey,
Keon Coleman was just a healthy scratch.
Right? Yeah, and that's another one.
And some more drama.
Yeah, it's just that's another one too. Like that's one thing I do want to get into. By the way, what is this thing with Josh and receivers? Like, because the last couple of decent receivers he's had, there's always been something with them. Diggs, right? They let go of Gabe Davis. They traded for Amari Cooper, but didn't use him correctly.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like the only people that Josh can vibe with are tight ends and sometimes James Cook.
Yeah, and even to be honest with you, in the passing game, who do they have? I think Ty Johnson.
Right, yeah. The running back.
So sometimes even more Ty Johnson than some of the receivers.
Right.
And he's the backup running back. So
yeah, it's weird.
It's really weird. Obviously, I think we talked about a month ago about how great Stephon Diggs was doing up to that point with New England and with Drake May.
Right.
And maybe that is what it is. Maybe he's one of those guys that maybe he's like the opposite of Jalen Hurts, where it's like I don't care who I throw it to, I want to win. And he's kind of I want to get my numbers and I want to win. And I think me getting a lot of numbers is going to lead us to victory.
Real quick. Nelson said that Josh has never really had a primary receiver in his career. That's a lie. Stephon Diggs is a one. We're not gonna say that at all. He just doesn't. To me, he just doesn't vibe with strong receivers.
And they traded for Amari Cooper,
right,
at a time where Amari Cooper was putting up
good.
Yeah, and they thought that this was going to change the whole complexity of their offense, and Amari Cooper got there and
barely got the ball.
6 months later, retired from the NFL.
Yeah, barely got the ball, but yeah, that's neither here nor there. But go ahead.
But yeah, so I mean, that's a good thing to point out too, is how some of these quarterbacks gel with their wide receivers, how their wide receivers react to it. Stephon Diggs in Buffalo with throwing his helmet and stuff like that, and how the wide receiver is portrayed in the media. And then we go back to the Eagles situation and how it's the quarterback's fault. And I think I want to hit on this before maybe we talk about maybe the Jets player and I want to say some things about Marshawn Kneeland too. But before we get there, I do want to bring up, and I wanted to bring it up, but I didn't want to stop you during the racial talk of the black quarterback, Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah,
his coach said has not taken a single rep with any of the people that he was playing with.
And whose fault is that?
And somehow it's his fault.
Right, yeah. Yeah, man,
And they say, oh, well, you know what? He just sits back there and he runs around and he takes sacks. Dillon Gabriel has been sacked 6 times in 2 different games.
Yep.
Joe Flacco threw 4 touchdowns and 6 interceptions in his time with the Browns. Went to the Bengals and was putting on a show for a little while.
Yep. Let me tell you, man. Let me tell you, like, there are some franchises that not the fans, because you have to separate the fans from
the organization.
Same thing in Dallas. Even though fucking Cowboys fans are the most delusional fucking crackheads ever. But the other thing is, like, Cleveland is just doomed to fucking fail, man. Like, because in any organization, it's not even just a football thing. In any organization, culture starts at the top, right? And it trickles down. It doesn't matter how good the fucking quarterback. It doesn't matter how good the head coach is. If the owner is some shit.
Yeah.
The owner he was Johnny Manziel, right? How many quarterbacks have they had? You gave the Massage King a $200 million fully guaranteed contract. And yes, get your money. I don't have any issues with people getting their money.
Yeah.
But this man hasn't played a game in 2 years. Or he played
like 5 games last year.
Right. And overall, like 5 games in 2 years. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just like, bro, like, and then a part of it is like, okay, man, like Myles Garrett, You took your money, great, but then don't turn around and complain about your team. You know your team was ass before you took the picture.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? They're just a fucking horrible fucking. They're a horrible fucking franchise.
And they somehow seem to make it worse
Right.
every opportunity they get. I mean,
Great defense.
it would have been so easy to let to either draft Shador earlier and try to develop him, or just take Dylan Gabriel and don't draft Shador
Right. They had
because now you have no need for a quarterback.
hella options, bro, and it's just like
They made the and not that, like you said, if the quarterback's good or not, it might not really change the organization and the franchise, and it might not really head in the right direction. But they made their quarterback situation and the drama they have at the quarterback situation,
all was
they created it. Yeah,
all self-inflicted.
they
All of
created
it.
the whole situation, and somehow we get to the last guy in the quarterback roulette in Shador Sanders, and
Yeah.
somehow, some way, it's all his fault
His
for just
fault.
not being NFL ready. That's what
That
I've heard a lot this week.
that your fucking owner is a complete fuck up. That your
Yeah.
damn coach keeps getting these passes for being this quarterback guru, which in turn means he should have had Shador ready. To me, he's a fuck up too. They're all fuck ups. Like no one is exempt for being a fuck up in Cleveland.
Yeah,
Except for, and I don't even blame Dylan Gabriel. He didn't ask to be traded, be picked there.
they drafted there either.
Right. They could have, and then to think about it, at that point when you knew you weren't going, you knew that my man wasn't coming back to play, right?
But Deshaun, yep.
Deshaun, you should have fucking cut ties with him right there. You
Mhm.
feel what I'm saying? Like, fuck it, you're going to eat the money anyway.
And
You
then,
know he's not
hey,
playing for you again.
hey
Just
Joe,
let him.
hey Joe Flacco, do you want to stay here? Do you want to be
Yeah,
here? And let's bring in another quarterback during preseason too, to just make it seem like we have an even larger quarterback battle to create more. It seems like, and it's not even that. It's not even just like an organization being bad, because there's one thing that an organization is being bad and they're doing all of these bad things, maybe behind closed doors, or I would say like the Jets, right? I would pick that as an organization that just does bad intentionally, but it doesn't seem, outside of, Woody Johnson, comments about Justin Fields a couple weeks ago, it doesn't seem like the Jets organization makes, and their owner is out there making it a priority to create media firestorm day after day.
no,
Yeah, Woody said what he said about Justin, and that created a media firestorm for that week. But it
right.
just seems like the
He
Cleveland
pops out like
organization,
once every other year. He says some
it seems
shit.
like the Cleveland organization every week, maybe
They're-
twice a week, just has something to say to create, and they're one of the worst teams in the NFL, to create a media firestorm every single week
They're
and distract from football.
I just fucking I can't and I hate it. I hate it for guys that really want to play football
Yep.
and fans that really they've been like Cleveland fans are starving. Like you can see their ribs starving for fucking just playoff football, a team that they could actually get behind and say, "This is our team. This is our team. They're representing our city in the right way," and they aren't getting it. You know what I mean? And it's sad because I don't think there are Cleveland fans that suck, but it's just the coach, the GM, the GM is ass, the owner is ass, the coach is ass. It's just a lot of ass shit going on.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
But that's again unnecessary. And the title of the show, drama.
Drama. Yeah,
Very,
drama.
very, very, very unnecessarily. So from that, I mean, I don't have much more. I would say, prayers up to the Jets cornerback. What was his name?
Boy,
Chris Boyd.
yeah, prayers. Yeah, he's back in state. I was listening to the NFL Network on the way home. They said he is in stable condition right now. He's still needing a little bit of help breathing, so he's still on a ventilator. But eventually, he said by the end of the week, hopefully, he will be able to come off the ventilator and be able to breathe on his own. So it's an unfortunate situation. You know what I mean, I don't know all the details. I just know that he was at um, the club, and whatever transpired. But prayers go out to him that he gets a football isn't even the priority at this point.
Yeah,
It's breathing on your own and being able to get to a point where you can start to recover and put your life and put your career hopefully back together. And you get a second chance. And one, you get a second chance at life. And number two, cherish that and maybe look at how I mean, we don't know the whole, or like I said, you don't know all the circumstances surrounding it, but just understand that we know, as especially as you get older, man, nothing. It ain't but so many good things can happen after midnight, bro. You know what I mean? Like that's a fact. There are a lot of good things that can happen after midnight. I'm pretty sure we have experienced them. But there's also a lot of things that we have experienced that aren't so good after midnight.
yeah,
Mhm. And prayers up to Chris Boyd, his family, and the Jets organization as well. It's just an unfortunate situation.
for
Um,
sure.
what else is out there? Um, Dude, yeah, that's the other thing. I'm not gonna waste time kicking. That's another thing too. I'm not gonna sit there and wait. I'm not gonna waste time kicking fucking Cowboys fans backs. And one that's
Gr-
before we get to that. Marshawn Lindland, very unfortunate situation. Um, very unfortunate. Age of 24, young guy had his life ahead, a whole life ahead of him. Very talented, from what I read. Very talented, very cordial, respectful young man. You know, his girlfriend was expecting. Um, on a mental health tip, you never know what another man or woman is going through. You just don't. Um, Even people can smile um, in your face and smile and hug and love you and hang out with you 1 minute, and you think everything is cool, but you never know what's going on inside of them. I lost um, my one of my closest cousins to me. His son, lost his wife sort of the same way. Um, Unfortunate because just like I said, man, like the kid was the life of the party. Every time I seen him, give me a hug, hang out with me. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a good kid. You just don't know what people are going through, and you don't want to be intrusive into all the way intrusive into people's lives, but tap in with your people, man.
Yeah, and on that note, obviously it's a sad situation for me. It's made football for the last well since that
Yeah,
tragic situation happened. It kind of made it very dull, boring, and didn't matter to me at all.
yeah,
From a person, just from my experience, the mental health is as serious, if not more serious, sometimes than physical health
yep. It all
and
ties
other.
in.
Yeah, it all goes together. And as you said, and you were right that there's a lot more people than we know or that we can see from the outside looking in going through something rough. It
Yeah,
took away from me a lot because um, kind of what I don't care for in these situations. It's again, it's the media thing, and I wasn't too worried about it. It kind of got me worked up, but I would say just from a personal standpoint, and this is very personal, I guess, but I've experienced trying to do what he did,
okay,
and afterwards, I it didn't really help my physical health at all, and I've suffered a little bit, but now I know. And if I would have succeeded, I would have never known
mm,
why it's so worth it for it not to succeed.
right,
And no matter on my worst day now, I'm still the happiest person in the world, genuinely, not faking it or anything, but just genuinely the happiest person in the world because I'm here.
Yeah.
And I'm available to talk sports, talk football,
Right.
watch sports, everything that I enjoy. And to know that there are people still out there, and no matter if my attempt succeeded or not, there are people out there that will never be able to see the other side of it was worth it that it didn't work out.
Right. Yeah.
It saddened me a lot, the story, and then just also I don't want this to get lost. Not that we have to harp on it forever or anything either. I think
Mhm.
we should bring awareness to mental health more, but I don't want this to get lost as a young man with a promising future goes through something and it creates this tragic event. We care about it for a couple of weeks and then we forget about
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And you were talking about, oh, you know, not to be intrusive, and yeah, sometimes it is overwhelming, all the questions, you know. After I did that, my family calling and wanting to talk all the time, people I've never heard from wanting
Mhm.
to ask me questions, and it gets a little overwhelming. but
Overwhelming. Yeah.
but at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you something that sometimes when I have thought about that afterwards, those questions really helped, and some of those conversations really helped, and they're worth it. And they're worth it, especially if you know how to do it without being overwhelming, and do it and if you're doing it genuinely, you know. So I just from my own personal experience, I just think that, like what you said, I just think it's worth it to even just have that conversation and break down that wall, because you don't know what somebody's going through. A simple um how are you doing, a lot of people say that every day, and the other person just, I'm fine, I'm good,
Good.
I'm doing great, and they're not. And it's not that you have to, you know, beat it out of them, but it's just,
You don't know what
you
somebody's
know,
going through.
it's also, I would say from my point of view too, it's also the person, a lot of people, and I'll speak specifically from a man's point of view, although a woman can go through this too.
We're very prideful.
Your pride does not worth more than your life. And that's my message. That's
Yeah.
my message to it. Your pride is not worth more than your life. You're worth more than your pride. And put the pride to the side in situations like that. If everybody, you know, I'm sure you have, I'm
Hmm.
sure anybody that's watching this, everybody has needs some type of help in their life.
Yep.
We cannot do this on our own.
Let me tell you, man. Like these last 3 years, you know what I mean? Like it's been rough. We got getting through it, right? You know, lost my dad in 22, right? 2022. And the crazy thing about it was, I was on my way. I planned to come home and, have father son pictures with my dad, you know what I mean? And the day I get off work, right? I'm getting ready to, change and get ready to get back up to Delaware, you know what I mean? And I get a call from my brother. And he's like, something happened to dad. You need to get down here and go go to the hospital. So I get there and my dad never leaves the hospital, right? He was there for 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. And I sat there with him and held his hand and watched him take his last breath, right? And that's my dad. Then 2 years later, right? This same exact fucking thing. This time it's in the winter in February. I get off work. Now, where I work, because I work, I don't have no problem. I work for the National Security Agency, NSA, right? Which is, you can't bring your phones into the building, and no one called me at work. So I get to my truck and I'm like, why the fuck is my fucking phone blowing up? Nobody fucking call me. Nobody text me, you know what I mean? Like people do it, you know what I mean? But I'm like, why the fuck is my phone blowing up? Call my brother. My mom had, because my mom was a diabetic and she had, heart issues, but she was still okay, able to move around and do whatever, all the things she needed to do. And like this is in the afternoon, my brother tells me my mom, you know, she was getting picked up to go to get for her dialysis, right? My mom died. She had a heart attack. And my brother found her. And, because she didn't, people who picked her up, she didn't answer the door or anything. And then like he went over there and it was like 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. Mom passed, right? So that's my mom. So then fast forward, that's January or February of 24. We fast forward to October, right? Now I'm outside, playing basketball and all that case may be. And something's like, I talked to my brother. I talked to him Wednesday, right? I talked to him Wednesday or Thursday. You know what I'm saying? I didn't talk to him Friday. I didn't talk to him that Friday. But I saw he was on Facebook. So I didn't, good. You know what I mean? He's okay. You know what I mean? So we were in contact, and he was supposed to move into my mom's house because he had an apartment. I didn't want the house. I mean, we both owned the house together, but I was like, yo, I got my own. I'm good. I want you to have this. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't need it. This is yours. You know what I mean? You ain't got to worry. All you got to do is, pay lights, electric, whatever, whatever you want to in there. But the house, it's already paid for. So that Saturday, I was like, I called him, didn't get nothing. This was early in the afternoon. So I'm like, all right, my man, you might be out with a girl, whatever the case may be. I ain't tripping, you know what I'm saying? I called me later that evening. Nothing. Didn't get anything, right? So I was like, all right, maybe he's just out. Maybe he's out of town with a girl, whatever the case may be. I ain't going to try him back. He probably busy or whatever. I called him Sunday morning, and I didn't get anything, right? Nothing. So then, like, I'm his older brother, right? You feel different. Something when somebody you close to somebody you that tight, this don't feel right. So I know, obviously I know where he lives, where the case may be. So I call the police department, and I was like, "Can y'all do a wellness check on Quincy Blackstock, whatever the case may be?" They go out there, to get all the information. They go out to the apartment, and not even half an hour later, Artie, I get a call that my brother had passed away. 39, right? 39 years old. And I'm like, what the fuck? This whole time, I knew one thing I didn't know. He said he wasn't feeling well, but he told me it was, he said he had bronchitis. You know what I'm saying? And I say all that to say this. That is dad, mom, younger brother. I could understand with my mom and my dad because they're older. They weren't old. They still had motion, right?
Right.
But they are older. So I could, even though it's your mom, nothing's like your mom. It's nothing like your dad. But I could understand it. What I couldn't understand was my brother being 39, right? Knowing that he still had all of his life to go. Knowing that he never had the experience of having a child. Knowing that he never had the experience of owning his own house and being able to have his own motion. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. That he has so much more of his life to live. You feel me? Now I'm not that much older than him, but it's just the fact that he's my younger brother.
It feels like it.
Yeah, it is just the whole thing of it. So seeing him there, looking at him in this casket, and seeing that there is no life there. You feel me? That is like people don't understand. I mean, I'm pretty sure there are people that understand that went through similar things, but I say that to say that without the people checking in on my family, my friends, not calling back off everything that my mom and my dad taught me, that my mentors taught me, I honestly don't know what I would have done if I didn't have my village around me. You know what I mean? And sometimes, so you understand, sometimes for people that even have a village, it may not even be enough. You know what I mean? You just don't know. You just don't know, man. And if there is anybody out there that needs somebody to talk to, at least bounce thoughts of or whatever, I'm here, dude. You know what I mean? You don't have to give me no explanations. Just if you need help, whatever the case may be, man, I will sit there and with you and get it, whatever it is you need. Because there is no pain out there that it's just you never want somebody to suffer. Don't suffer in silence. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, prayers go out to Marshawn Nealon. Hopefully he's resting in peace and love. Because he had just lost his mother too.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And that's a lot. I lost my mom, so I know. You know what I mean? And your mom is nothing. There's nothing like a mother's love. And there's nothing like it. And I'm pretty sure that probably was weighing on him as well. And I hope that he is in his mom's arms, loving in her and having fun and all the smiles, and that they are free from all this bullshit that's going on down here. You know what I mean? And our prayers go out to his fiance or his girlfriend, and for the child that is unborn, because that child will never see their father in the physical form, and that baby is going to need all the love and support, and along with his fiance or girlfriend, they're going to need all the love and support they can get. You know what I mean? And I hope that they get it. I hope that she has the opportunity, if she's ever ready for that later on down the line, to experience another man's love, and hopefully that man takes her heart and protects it, and also does so for the child as well. And prayers go out to the rest of Marshawn's family and friends, and then obviously Cowboy Nation. That fucking sucks. So yeah, man. Kind of a somber way to close out. You got something to say?
No, I was gonna say it's just something, and obviously this, especially from we're fans and we're doing a podcast, but these things, whether you're a mega fan or whatever you are, just way more important. And I wish everyone take care of themselves.
Yep.
And agree with you and echo the same thing. If there's anybody out there that just ever needs to reach out for whatever reason, just do it. I mean, even if you're a stranger, I mean, it's worth it. I promise you, it's worth it.
Yes, sir. Okay. With that being said, hey, everybody out there, please like and subscribe to our YouTube page or YouTube channel. So I feel like a pod. Follow us on Twitter if you can. Follow us on Instagram, and we're on Facebook as well. I want to go give a quick shout out to Nelson. He was in the chat. Marv, who's working, AO, who's working as well. Shout out to Walk for the edit, for the thumbnail. It was great, man. Appreciate you. You know what I mean? Coming through in the clutch. Everybody else out there, you know, it don't even feel like Cowboy Eagle rivalry shit because we've been kicking their back in for 25 years. So to me, it's not even worth discussing. You know what I mean? Like I'm not even joking. I don't look at them as rivals, but
I honestly forgot they were even playing each other.
yeah, for real. Like I just don't even look at them as rivals, man. It's just like the Eagles have surpassed them. It's not even funny making fun of their fucking fans anymore. Even though it's funny, and it's not funny that they're going through the pain with Jerry Jones, but it is what it is. That's what they chose. You chose. That's your choice. Good.
They beat the Raiders. They're turning the corner.
Yeah, I don't want any parts of that shit. You keep that over there. You know what I mean? But like I said, man, this was a great show. Appreciate you being here with me, man. Hopefully we might get back on sometime later in the week, or back next week with the fellas. Hopefully everybody can get back on, man. But again, this is a good another episode of Because I Feel Like a Podcast, man. Appreciate y'all, the limited amount of folks that was out there watching, but it is what it is. We're growing, you know what I mean? We're under new management. So yes, the Twitter page says it was up to 2018, but it was a group of brothers I knew that no longer had the bandwidth or the time to continue it on. So I said, let me jump in. I'll try to continue it on with them good brothers, man. Big Nelson, you know what I'm saying? A couple other guys as well. But hey, man, we are out. We see y'all next week, man. Yo, take care.